Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter.
Every June, there's a national celebration of Pride Month.
Today, we recognize those who paved the way at Stonewall, like Marsha P. Johnson, and those who pushed for intersectional advocacy, like Bayard Rustin.
It's an acknowledgement of the history of a community that has been too often overlooked and underappreciated.
It's a symbol that our county respects, recognizes, and celebrates the lives of our residents and employees in the LGBTQIA plus community.
But make no mistake,
It's Pride Month in the city of Philadelphia.
over the years, significant progress has been made.
Last week, Rue Landau became the first openly LGBTQ plus resident elected as a major party nominee for Philadelphia City Council.
But even as the LGBTQ plus community has clearly moved forward,
Happy Pride, everybody say Pride.
the current divide in our country means that some are pushing back.
It's terrible, it's an abomination.
Really concerned about our community through the indoctrination of our children.
This month, I celebrated my Day 365 of womanhood, and Bud Light sent me possibly the best gift ever, a can with my face on it.
Most bullies are not even hiding in the shadows anymore. They're displayed in plain sight.
It is wrong to teach students that gender is a choice.
Nationwide, conservative states have stepped up their attempts to shove LGBTQ plus residents back into the closet and strip this community of their rights.
We're protecting kids.
Banning books, a despicable and egregious move against the First Amendment rights.
And we're going to protect kids when it's popular.
Access restrictions to Floridians needing transgender health care.
We'll protect kids even when you take some incoming as a result of maybe offending some ideologies or some agendas out there.
We don't get it! Shut it down! This trend is especially concerning.
Branding drag performances and even bullying Disney for standing with our community.
Texas legislation is part of a wave of bills targeting transgender healthcare in red states across the country.
It's sad and it's upsetting.
They don't have the mental capacity to make a life-changing decision.
It's extremely unfortunate that, we're going through this again.
Validation for our own humanity comes from the inside out.
So celebrate, appreciate, and recognize the positive aspects of Pride Month.
This is the inaugural Delaware County Pride Parade, and we're just so happy to see how it grows.
While remembering that, like with most fights for equality, the work continues.
The attacks on our community are so intense is because the change actually has already happened. You cannot put the toothpaste back in the tube. We're here, we're queer. Get over it. Get used to it and get over it. No, for real. Yeah. Get over it.
This is Fox 29 Presents A Cause for Pride 2023. Welcome to our Fox 29 Pride Month celebration, A Cause for Pride. Now, honestly, all year we should be celebrating the achievements and accomplishments of the LGBTQ plus community. But in June, we have the opportunity to really focus on the difference makers, the change agents, and the people who are taking on the challenges both locally and nationally. I'm Bill Anderson, and that's what we're going to do for the next 30 minutes. So let's get things started with our own Cheyenne Corinne, who went in the opening stages of Pride Month, the parades and the celebrations, to find out exactly what the month is all about.
Your dress is so beautiful.
We often talk about pride, especially during June. But what does that really mean?
Everyone's welcome, peace, prosperity.
Just being yourself, just being able to live open and live free and just not really caring about what the outside world has to think about you.
It means something different to every person, similar to the beauty of the rainbow, representing the diversity within the LGBTQ plus community.
Queer people are all around everyone, and that we have remarkable strength that comes from our uniqueness, not necessarily from being like everyone else, but that's still something that's incredibly valuable and that we have a lot to contribute because of our uniqueness.
The theme of this year's Pride March in Philadelphia was love, light, and liberation, bringing thousands and thousands of people to Center City.
Like, Philly is really accepting already, but Pride really brings people out.
But just as much as Pride is a time to celebrate the wins for the LGBTQ+ community, like the signing of the Respect for Marriage Act, or even locally, the Pennsylvania House passing a bill preventing discrimination on the basis of sexual and gender identity. June is also a time to reflect on how much progress has been made and how much more needs to be done.
I just think that it's now more important than ever to make yourself aware of what's going on in government and politics and make sure you have an active voice. Go out and vote, go out and protest and everything like that. Don't just sit stagnant because people will take your rights away from you.
Activists say this year's Pride Month is coming at a time where everything about their existence is being attacked.
The theft of the rainbow pride flag they've hung outside their State Street shop for the last 3 years.
Intolerance is at an all-time low.
I feel like it needs to be something like federal that is set, so like all states have to follow like specific rules to protect queer people,
including those who may not identify as queer. One of the meanings of the A in LGBTQIA+ is ally, something the Vogel family takes very seriously.
Having my mom here means the world. Like the fact that I was able to grow up in a place that welcomed me in the way that I am. I could cry thinking about it.
It doesn't matter. It does not affect your daily life.
Christine Vogel says supporting her son at Pride was a no-brainer and wishes more people experience this level of acceptance and unconditional love.
People get so upset about other people who are a little bit different than them. Let them be. They're not hurting anybody. They're lovely, awesome human beings. Be a nice human.
Pride Month is a national celebration that most people recognize or celebrate in their home city or state. But the reality that we see every day is that where someone lives can make a huge difference about how someone lives as a member of the LGBTQ+ community. That reality, it sparked the Caravan of Hope.
Yeah, we've been now to 11 cities since I last saw you.
She's done such great work for people.
And it's just been more than I could have imagined, honestly, especially in the Bible Belt. We've been providing pro bono legal services to LGBTQ folks in underserved areas. And I have with me
Eli, aka King Platonic.
If you are approaching the Caravan of Hope for,
I need legal help with changing my name.
Angela Giampolo is known as Philly Gay Lawyer.
Oh my gosh.
She pulled off for her annual tour of free legal services from Good Day Philadelphia, driving to areas where her services are desperately needed.
Either they are in mid-size or larger cities and don't have competent legal out counsel that knows these issues, or they drove 3.5 hours because where they came from, they're not out.
I hope that others find that resiliency in themselves. You are strong. You are resilient, even if you don't know it yet.
We closely followed the Caravan of Hope through social media as they toured the country. One of the many positives is that it allowed us to experience some of the emotion connected to why the journey matters so much to Angela and her team.
There are a lot of folks that we weren't able to help. They didn't have a specific legal need. They thought they did, but what's just isn't always right, and what's right isn't always just, and there was not legal relief for them.
So I'm really excited to be able to get all of me out there with Milwaukee.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
But them coming on this caravan and making eye contact with us and us hearing them and seeing them and listening to their entire story about where they've come from, what they've fought in order to stay alive. And if you would have told me that there were folks that I would not help legally that would be helped, I wouldn't have understood that even a month ago. Happy Pride, everyone.
Providing legal services to a largely LGBTQ+ community is what Angela does every day. But this annual trip even serves as an eye-opener to her, just how different her life and experiences are in the Northeast versus those of others she met.
One of our partner lawyers was a closeted trans man. Now, if the lawyer is closeted, my partner lawyer in a city is a closeted trans man, what does that tell you about the folks in that city?
Because I'm getting my gender marker changed. Yay!
And if that was an eye-opening experience for her, as the caravan continued, the hope is that some of this will resonate with the rest of us and open more eyes.
Just an acknowledgement, a realization that it is not safe for everyone everywhere.
Nearly the entire month, the Caravan of Hope ultimately made its way to 14 cities before heading back to Philly. Hundreds received actual legal services, but the greater message of the caravan, once again, applies to more than just those receiving legal counsel. The message is hope.
There are really only two emotions in this world, fear and love, right? And you boil everything down to that, and you're on one side or the other. And I truly believe that as far as humans go, there are more people inching towards the side of love than fear.
In a lively gathering of supporters and friends,
there's nothing like a campaign to pull family together like
City Council at Large candidate Rue Lando stood before the crowd talking about her historic victory.
It takes so many people to put a campaign together.
During Philadelphia's primary election.
I'm super happy and excited about that, but I still have to win in November. And then so long as everything goes according to plan, I'll be a council person starting in January.
Last week, Rue Landau became the first openly LGBTQ+ resident elected as a major party nominee for Philadelphia City Council.
Lando is poised to become the first openly gay person to serve on Philadelphia City Council, securing one of 5 nominations for council-at-large seats, coming in third behind 2 established incumbents in a crowded race of 27 candidates. She says it's a moment that's long overdue.
We're a city where we've passed laws to protect our community going all the way back to 1982. And still nobody has had, no openly LGBTQ person has had a seat at the table yet. Tenants deserve decent, stable housing. I already worked for city government. I was a legal services lawyer. Our staff of investigators, I ran our civil rights and housing enforcement agencies. I'm not an unknown person in Philadelphia, and I've been working on helping to shape policy in various areas of civil rights.
Supporters from across the city of all different backgrounds coming to cheer on the historic feat.
We need to see some wins in legislative areas so that we can represent ourselves.
Our community is getting stronger. We're not going back in the closet. We're not going back to where we came from.
I'm happy it has happened because now it opens the doors for others to come through to saying that you can be out and you can be you and you can also hold these places at the table.
The support for Rue Lando is obviously evident at her victory party here, and the optimism is clear from her supporters as well. Rue Lando saying while she's the first now openly gay woman soon to serve on Philadelphia City Council, she says she's going to work to make sure she's not the last.
I want the young folks to see somebody from the community in elective office and be able to look up and say, someday that's going to be me.
Supporters also say the mere image of representation matters and has the potential to make a real difference for diverse communities across the city.
We don't like to be put in the position of choosing between a person who's LGBT to represent us and a person who represents good policy, and Rue brings both, so it was an easy choice.
You can do anything that you want. And I know that sounds cliche, but you have to be able to do something. Sometimes you have to see somebody in that place.